Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Toon Kind at 12 SP. God, my words. Um,
Aliens isolated
Hi.
everybody.
Aliens isolated everyone. Today I am playing a funky blue alien lizard known as George. Um, and I am here with my good friend and co-host.
And also the causer of all of George's problems. Void Cat. Hi, I'm Babble. I am playing Void Cat today, the cryptid void that is also a cat. Or vaguely
Joy.
cat shaped at the moment. Question
Vaguely
mark.
cat-shaped at the moment. And I will say, Void Cat, George is taking you somewhere today, as opposed to you taking George somewhere. You guys have been walking for a while, and George just kind of like has you in his arms, just holding you like a cat that you are.
There are like little motions along their entire being and body as their eyes and nose and mouth kind of like, well, eyes and nose at the moment. They don't need a mouth unless they intend to make noise. So it just disappears into the void. Uh, don't worry about it. Uh, Bounces around the rest of their body, and like the motions indicate that they are purring, but they don't purr like a normal cat. There is like a distinct wub 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 wub.
It's just got it's with just how George is general disposition. It just sounds very sus. Just this very suspicious looking man who is not actually that suspicious. Just kind of walking with this like patch of void that is just making strange noises. Don't worry about it.
It's a completely
And
normal thing to be doing, on a nice Tuesday afternoon.
yeah, it's a nice afternoon. It's perfectly fine. Uh,
Completely normal.
and um, eventually you guys walk up to this very void cat. It's a very strange looking building to you. It has this small kind of front entrance area, but like you can see like there's a fence around this building and like some hedge shrubbery to sort of block off the sides, so like you can't really see in all that well. But you can see this like giant netting on one side that reaches just up over the hedges, far into the sky. It's like metal. It has like that like metal exoskeleton and then just netting between everything else. And you can kind of like see different buildings in the back, but and there's a sign. I forgot to name this place. No, I was forgetting something. Do you know how to read common? That isn't a important question for Void Cat. You are a cat. Can you read common?
Oh god, can they read common? I don't know.
Do you care enough to read the sign on this place?
Uh, okay, so they do know common. But I don't think that they do care enough to read the sign on the place. I also think that that is a bold assumption to make in the fact that they can't um, see over those hedges, because they see those hedges and they want to look in now. Because how dare you block their field of view? They take that as a challenge. And they're just gonna like start extending their head like a normal cat, but then it just keeps going.
I think George was just kind of walking towards the entrance to like properly bring you guys in, and then your head just starts like slowly drifting off, and George just goes, wait, hold on, and like he was walking towards like the entrance building, so your head's just kind of like slowly going over to the right and like curving upwards, and like George walks up to the side of the building, just goes, wait, we can see the inside in a moment. We're walking in.
Uh, you want to make a persuasion?
Oh boy, this is going to be persuasion that's on this document. See, that's a solid 10.
They have a whiz of 13, so I'm gonna make a whiz save.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's +4. They don't pass. They concede. The way they retract their head is slightly slower than when they were extending it, because they're just like, nah.
Just kind of lets out this like sigh and just goes, thank you.
A mouth appears,
and
bouncing with the rest of their face ? And they just let out a deep, low meow.
Aw.
And then it disappears back into the void.
There's a sweat drop off of George because, oh boy. And goes back to walking through the entrance of the building. There's just a small like little reception counter. You, Void Cat, can kind of recognize the fact that he's putting space money on the counter, but it looks close enough to gold that the teller's just going to take it. It's kind of all right. This is just gonna be me doing my space headcanon effects, but I imagine they use kind of like the universal credits, where like this, like certain planets have like higher prices, but they all kind of use credits or whatever the normal currency is. Local shops usually just use the local credit, like the local money, but like more intergalactic shops use credits and whatever the local money is, or you can change out the local money for credits and yeah, things like that. I imagine like the credits are these like little just golden kind of squarish things, and they kind of look like gold, but they're definitely not gold. You know this, Void Cat.
They've probably consumed a good few.
Yeah, you've probably eaten some gold. You've probably eaten some credits. They do not taste the same at all.
Speaking of,
whichever one tastes worse or better is honestly up to you.
I'm gonna say that the credits probably taste better.
Yeah,
but they're
kind of like
also biased.
So that's probably. I'm sorry.
They're also probably biased though, because they're from the void.
Yeah. Yeah. And the teller takes the coin, and there's a slight conversation of, yes, this is just another person. I know they look like a cat. Can we please just go in now? No, they are not actually just a cat, even though you are definitely just actually a cat. It's the only way we managed to get you into this butterfly garden, because honestly,
I mean, if they need to like extend their body into or distort it in a way that looks somewhat person-esque, they will. It just won't be pleasant to look at for the teller, who is not used to their shenanigans.
I think just with how Toonkinds are, George is probably able to just convince them. Yeah, I promise I will not eat the butterflies. Totally a lie, because George can't promise anything with this cat.
I mean, I definitely was not going in to this with the thought that, yeah, no, Void Cat is going to want to eat some butterflies.
George is definitely thinking that they made a few of whatever creatures in here, because God, I don't know if George knows what like a planet-side butterfly looks like yet. So, yeah, you guys walk in sort of the main plaza area. It doesn't have any butterflies in it because usually it's like an off section, and there's a pathway just like straight from the right of the entrance that's sort of like a door that's connected to like the wire frame and the netting. And looking at it, Voidcat, you can see inside now. Do you want to roll perception?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, God, where is their perception? That's +1. Playing a character who doesn't usually see shit.
That's an 11. Past the door, there's a wide variety of some just a lot of flowers. You've gotten used to flowers because you've been living with George, a florist.
Yeah. In which is unfortunate for them, if only because, like, they like flowers, but if they touch flowers, flowers tend to die. So they don't really touch them.
Yeah.
They like George. George
God.
is happy with flowers.
It's just, I hold this cat very soft, and
That reminds me, George has a flower plushie. That Void Cat got him.
I'm yeah. Does oh God, I forgot about that. I hold this cat very soft. Literally, George is holding this cat. God. And George kind of like pushes open that like initial door and just kind of looks down at you and just goes, "All right, this is kind of an area where you can look at some wildlife of this planet. They uh they mostly feed on flowers, and I thought it would be cool if to look around. I can set you down if you want to be set down so you can look around more properly if you want to. Uh,
They just stare at him with their constantly bouncing off of the edges of themselves eyes. Like, they're honestly chill with whatever he wants to do. I mean, he is the one that dragged them here.
uh, that does not give George any sort of answer. He looked into the void, and the void did not respond the way he thought it would.
The void looks back.
The void looks back.
Can they roll an insight to see, like, what it would be that he wants to do?
I mean, sure. That's a 12. That's above a 10. That's above average. George's is kind of looking at you for what you want to do right now. Like, do you want to be set down? Do you not?
Alright. They kind of, like, stare for just a moment more before, like, it seems like a part of their body just starts going into itself, but in reality, like, if you were to look off to the side, they're kind of, like, letting their void mass goop down onto the floor. So that way he doesn't have to physically set them down. And suddenly there is a void cat on the floor. And it's not like actually goopy, it's more so just like a shadowy kind of way it's done.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say it would have been funny if it was just goop, because then you'd have just like melted slightly in his hands.
Nah, it's more so just shadows. Void Cat is surprisingly soft, but they're also very cold, and like if you really wanted to, you could stick your hand all the way in their fur, and like it would, like, you're pretty sure that if you stuck all of your arm in there, it should come out the other end, but it doesn't.
Aw.
Like you
It's
could
just,
literally just hop into their fur and like be consumed by void.
yeah, that happened once. You know.
Yeah.
God. And just like, oh, yeah, all right. And there's this sort of like plastic sort of, it's not really a screen, but it's like a lot of like plastic bars, and George kind of like opens it up, uh walks through, and then kind of keeps it open so you can also walk through and not just kind of faceplant against this plastic. Uh,
I mean, there's like some kind of grating or something? Yeah.
I don't know. I've never actually been to a butterfly garden, so
So I
honestly,
think,
I have no idea.
don't butterfly gardens have like those? Not like it's like a wire kind of netting. Not, well, maybe not wire, but there's like holes in the surrounding what's keeping them in.
Yeah, like there's like the netting that's surrounding the place, but like between the door and also the other door is like like these like, I can words, these sort of the sort of plastic curtain that's like these just strips of plastic that all kind of like press together to make it so like nobody, like, people can move them and walk through, but the butterflies can't manage to squeeze through the cracks to get near the door.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
Um, I think Void Cat stretches and they kind of glitch out. It seems, you know, like how in like Gmod, how the limbs and things will extend and then freak the fuck out. It's like that. But they're fine. You know, this is Void Cat.
Yeah.
They're
Uh,
fine. And
they're
then
fine.
they just kind of like move. You don't know how they move, but they move. They void their way on over. Follow George.
Yeah. Void Cat. It's very bright and sunny in here. The paths, there's paths with like railings. The paths are made of this kind of like cobblestone, and but looking around, there are a lot of these small flying creatures going from place to place, sitting on objects. Uh, just place to place, sitting on objects, flying around. That is a 4. What did you roll?
Intelligence.
Oh god. Is it to know what these things are?
Not only to know what these things are, but to, I guess, resist uh kitty instincts and chasing and possibly going to try and chomp.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And with that -4, they have to intelligence because they have a 3 in intelligence. Yeah, no. No. No, they don't. Uh, Void Cat's eyes just get big, round. Uh,
Silly eyes. Let me roll a perception for George just to see if we can avoid disaster. Just real fast. That's a 15. George goes, wait. Uh, and goes to I imagine you're like in the middle of doing that like cat butt wiggle by looking at one of the butterflies.
Yes.
You know the one. And George just kind of walks over and just kind of picks you up, but also your feet are still attached to the ground. And just goes, wait, we're not. Uh, uh, can you please do not try eating them? Please do not.
One of their eyes kind of moves through their void to look at him, and it looks at him inquisitively.
Uh, we're just here to look at it, just to see more of this world. Uh, this, these, I do not think, the people, staff of this place would enjoy you, uh, chasing these creatures. Uh, we can go find some later. Uh, go find some later, and, you can chase all of those ones you want, but just not any in here, okay?
So that is above 10. They concede.
Aw. Uh, there's. Do your legs just kind of slowly rise off the ground to go back into George's arms?
They slowly just kind of like let go of the ground and retract their ligaments, pull them into their body, and now they're back into his arms.
Yeah.
Their
And
one eye is
George.
still looking at George.
Uh,
Well, the rest
George.
of she's bouncing.
God. George kind of lets out another sigh and just goes, thank you. Rather not get in trouble here instantly. Uh,
Can they secretly munch on one?
roll a sleight of hand.
Ah, they only have a +1. I'm gonna do it. Secretly munch. Yes!
That's a 20. George, is probably like walking down one of the paths and just kind of like idly chatting about like, how the flowers are arranged and how the area looks. 'Cause uh, there's a lot of flowers here that he hasn't seen before because they're all, this planet's specialty flowers. Some of them are kind of similar, not all of them. And there's a butterfly that just kind of lazily drifts past you. You're just so easily able to just stretch a little bit and just munch.
They probably use their tail and their mouth appears from the void of their tail and it just like flies into their mouth unsuspectingly when they flick their tail towards it. And then it disappears.
Congratulations, you've eaten a butterfly. It is very crunchy. It is very bug-like, and it has a taste. I don't know how butterflies taste, but congratulations, you've eaten a butterfly.
They are now wub 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 wubbing. Their version of purring. They have done the very bastard thing. They're good.
I think George like gives you an absent-minded like pat on the head, or where your head probably is. The ears are there.
Yeah, the ears stay in one place. So there is a clear head and butt. It's just as indicated by the ears and the tail that stay in one general area. It's the face that you never know where the fuck it is.
And I hold this cat very soft. I love this cat. There is just like a pat of like George patting you on the head because you're doing the noise again. It's probably a good noise, probably. And concentration. Why have you done this to me? Yeah. And George is just still kind of like walking down one of the paths. Do you want to give me another perception? Because there are cool things here if you want to look at cool things.
I always want to look at cool things. It's just that my cat's an idiot.
10. I think as you guys are like walking past one of the areas, that's not a very high perception. So you're just gonna see the base part of this. There, George is like commenting on one of like the flowers that kind of like grow off of one of the trees. And you're staring just kind of like past it while listening to George like kind of babble. And there's just this circle of probably fungi just in a circle. There's no trees in it. There's no anything. It's just a circle of fungi.
Is there any check that I can do that would tell them anything about this, or no?
Probably roll either. Hold on. Let me look at things. Probably either an Arcana, or I'm going to go with a Nature.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's fucking nat 20. So that is a fairy circle. A fairy circle in the middle of this butterfly garden. You know, with fae that have butterfly wings. And it does look, if that was an Arcana, it does kind of just look like an active circle. So definitely used.
Oh. Well, that's lovely. They may have just eaten a fairy. I mean, Void Cat has no hubris. Even less so than Jackie. So like they don't care. I mean, it's not causing any problems for them or George at the moment. So
yeah, it's just a fun thing to see. It's just a fun thing to spot in this garden.
They're tempted to touch it.
You'd have to go past the railings, and George is currently holding you. Do you want to be a bastard?
Yes, of course I want to be a bastard. I think they're going to, sort of shadow goop off of George.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna stand there for a little bit, let him start talking again.
Yeah. George is probably going to move like a little bit away and like talk about another one of the flowers and just kind of like, how it's structured. It's got a very, very nice pattern to it, and there are a lot of butterflies just kind of sitting on it, and you are free to go sneak off if you'd like.
That's a 9.
That's a 9, and okay, you go to sneak off to the center of this garden area, and you go to move through the bushes, and there's a rustle, and George just goes, wait, that's an area you're not supposed to go into, and just kind of like speed walking over to be like, wait, please, wait, don't.
How close are they to it?
It you could probably just kind of run over there if you'd like.
They get silly eyes again.
Oh
And
no.
Because they see him. He's walking faster than normal, right?
Yeah.
They indicate that as a challenge and as play.
Oh god. Oh no.
They're running. They're running for it. They're gonna like jump, kitty jump into the middle of it.
I did not plan this. Okay. Not plan for this to happen. Roll me a wisdom save real fast, please.
Oh boy!
George stands at the side of the railing for a second. Looks around just real fast. Okay, that's a good wisdom. Void Cat, you step into this area and you feel this, like, I'm gonna say this kind of like ticking pressure just kind of come around you as something magical tries to happen, and just it kind of like dissipates after a moment. And uh this is a fairy circle. Whatever that was, is it typical for fairy circles? This might be a little bit of an abnormal fairy circle. But also, you have a feeling if you stay there like too long, it'll probably try happening again. Whatever
Well,
that was.
I'm just imagining like the pressure just kind of made them squish into an hourglass shape for a moment, where their eyes got really big and exaggerated. Uh, but then it stopped because their voidish mass just wouldn't let them go any further than a slight hourglass,
God.
and they just stare at George. I think they want to try and eat a mushroom.
I knew bringing you here would be chaos. Okay.
Okay, but like, isn't that why?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. George, you just scooting closer to one of the mushrooms on the edge of the circle.
Yeah.
George is now just going to vault over the side of the fence. He's hoping no one is looking. This is definitely not what you're supposed to do.
They're going to quickly grab one of the mushrooms and bolt.
Okay, can you roll me a strength? And also, if you are holding this in your mouth, roll me roll me actually a constitution this time.
Oh boy! So there's the strength.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, here's the con.
I'm gonna say with a 12, you don't manage to completely get it out of the ground. Like, you don't manage to pull a mushroom out of the ground. With a 12, I will say you manage to eat the cap. With a stellar 19 to Constitution, it tastes weird and funky and not good. This is not a good mushroom to eat. Can you roll me a perception?
I have
Or I
no
suppose.
I have. I know that this is absolutely the worst thing that you could do with a fairy circle.
Oh
But Void
boy.
Cat is a motherfucker.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Huh. Huh. I will say, even with a 19, this thing does not taste good, and you probably kind of spit it back out a little bit.
They do the
With a
parking thing before they just slides out of their mass.
yeah,
Gross.
you probably don't notice this, but with from the end, I will say George probably walks over and picks you up and goes, nope, 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 not doing that. Uh, even if your legs kind of stay behind, it's just I shouldn't eat things in here, and the camera will pan over just to this cap, and for us, the audience, we can see that it is not actually sort of your normal sort of mushroom. The inside is reinforced with the smallest sort of wooden planks you have ever seen, and it has what appears to be a chandelier kind of now limply hanging from the top. Uh, and that is all I will give you with a 5. Voidcat did not see this. George did not see this. George is getting out of this area as soon as possible with his cat, who is causing problems.
I don't
But
know what to do with this information. I mean, I can't do much with this information anyways. It's Voidcat, and Voidcat's an idiot. But I don't even know. Wait, hold on. Tiny house? Was that the Smurfs?
I will not be answering questions at this time. Anyway.
Did I just see a Smurf house?
Oh god. Yeah. Anyway, uh, George George vaults over another one of these fences, like a totally normal person would do. And just quietly speed walks off, further into the garden. Look, man, you're the one who decided to mess with the fairy circle. Anyway,
I'm
I'm
well
very
aware
glad
and
you
I
did, because that
have
was
no
very fun.
regrets. I ate a fairy, I almost ate a house. Woodcat is very pleased with themselves.
Oh god. You probably the only thing that tasted good was probably the candles, so you just fucking ate the candles.
Probably just literally dug out all of the candles just to eat those.
Oh god. Oh god. This is great. Uh,
I mean, they'll even eat the
and
glass from the chandelier. There's that.
god, yeah. Yeah, you can also eat that. God. Void cat causes problems on purpose. I love this cat.
It's just some destruction. Don't worry about it. Just a
Sorry, there's a bug on
mess.
my wall. I got distracted.
Oh,
uh, God. God. I, oh god, I love this so much. And George kind of speed walk. There's a central area. It's nice. There's a central area where there are benches people can sit down and sort of relax at. Uh, and George walks over to off to the side, where isn't in clear view of people because not after that, no thanks. And just kind of sets Voidcat down and just down on the bench and then sits next to Voidcat and just why have you done this?
There is that uh wubbing noise again as Voidcat is just kind of loafed.
I uh, And George kind of like looks up and around the place and just looks back at you
Void Cat is
and
just
just,
doing a big yawn.
God, you are very adorable. And I love this Void Cat content. He just goes, uh, George does not have words for this, and it's just kind of head in his hands. Uh, and I am going to say, like, throughout this experience, George has had a strange amount of butterflies kind of like just gravitating towards him, and they're Void Cat. Some of them are starting to like land on him as he's like actually sitting still for once, and they are just kind of like walking, like crawling around on George. And God, do you want to? I want to just give this to you because you have not been rolling good perception, but there are just some butterflies that like are more trying to crawl into his coat.
They don't like that. They're going to try and eat those.
Uh,
They're specifically targeting the ones that are trying to get into his coat.
Okay. Do you do you want to roll a do you want to roll like a dex to see how many you get?
Sure.
Roll a dex to see how many you can like. Oh God, that's a 15. Uh, you kind of like you probably like walk up to George, and George just kind of like looks at you, and it's just like he's about to speak, and then you just kind of eat one, and he's just like, wait, and then you snag another, and it's just like, wait, and George, George is like kind of standing up. It's just like, wait, do not eat the butterflies, and
And they're just gonna look at him. They're gonna look at them as they continue to do this. Because they're giving him a look that says, dude, notice what is going on. There's a reason I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for shits and giggles anymore.
God. And George kind of looks at you, does a sigh, and just like George just kind of like attempts to move the butterflies off of him, but they just kind of like stand on his hand. And he's just like, God. He's yeah, and
You know what? You know what? These little shits, all of these little shits, they're pissing Void Cat off. There's a lot of anger in this small cat. They're gonna pull out their fucking gun. Their kitchen gun. They're gonna intimidate these bastards. Fuck off their George.
Intimidation at advantage.
Fuck off their George.
14. These things are butterflies. I think you pull out the gun and it makes like that comical cocking sound, and the butterflies just kind of all pause for a moment and then just fucking scatter.
Because if fucking eating the bastards won't work, gun will.
I will say, the moment you pulled out the gun, like George just kind of like put his hands up like a holy shit sort of motion. But how did you where did you get that?
They're just waving it around tunishly, frantically at all the butterflies as they're scattering. Like Speedy, just boom, 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 just waving it at all of them as fast as they can.
And there is like a mass fluttering as these butterflies just panic off in different directions. They're going everywhere. Going everywhere. And I think it spawns like a chain reaction of like butterflies running to other butterflies, and then those butterflies getting panicked, and then there's just a general all around chaos. For like a few minutes, nobody knows what's happening.
Void Cat is going to hop on top of George's head and perch themselves, and they're going to keep gun. Very intimidating dark mass of a cat with gun.
With gun. And just God. George just kind of like lets out a sigh. Like, okay, yeah, this is my life now. This is my life now, I guess.
They don't trust those butterflies.
They don't trust these strange insects that are all over the place.
No, they do not.
God. George, beforehand, this will be a peaceful experience. I'm sure nothing will go wrong. George, now, everything went wrong. Oh, God. It's just... I think George is just kind of like sitting on this bench. Just... What is he supposed to do? This cat has a gun now.
This cat has many weapons.
Does he try to take the gun away from the cat? Is that the reasonable explanation here? Does he really want to? Does he want to try to convince just a literal cat that this would be a good thing to give away?
Are you sure you want to take a gun from a stressed out cat?
God. And if you're just sitting on top of George's hat, I think George will just kind of give like a sigh and just take his hat off and just to look at you properly and just kind of place you in the hat into his lap and just go, what am... Hey.
The gun disappears into their void.
You are really something, huh? And I'm just gonna pat top of Cat's head.
Pat top of Cat's head. Kitty is gonna ask for more pets by reaching their paw out and putting it on their head.
God. Yeah. All right. George will go pet the cat. God. George does not. This is the weirdest probably situation George has been in, and it's just been like a continuous series of weird situations. Like, huh?
Since meeting Void Cat, everything just went wrong.
Yeah, I'm just... God, I love Void Cat so much.
I love just George.
God. There's just pets. Just pets Void Cat. And it's just... You know, I think they had a garden area at the front. Should... Maybe they have some of the flowers in here that they had out there. And he's just kind of like thinking, because you know, he's a florist. Of course he's just gonna he's a nerd. He's a florist. He's just gonna think about the flowers.
He's a flower nerd. And honestly, Void Cat finds it pretty comforting when George talks about plants. They're starting to drift off
Oh, hun. Are they kind of like turning more into a loaf? I need to know.
into like very much so like flat-ish kind of loaf of relaxing cat.
Just God, I've okay. I'm just
They ate a fairy, they ate a house, they ate candles, they ate glass. They protected George from the terrifying butterfly fairies with a gun. And now George is giving them dubious amounts of pets.
God. Uh, I think God. I think George just has this item now, just because he's been around Void Cat. I'm just gonna roll hammer space. Uh, but George pulls out this kind of like it. It's probably like a modified sort of flower pot. It's more of like a shallow one. But it is Void Cat sized, and it does have like that plush interior, because you know George is going to be nice and just not have you like sleep on just, just like anything normally inside his shop that he you know set up, because
Yee.
he's not just gonna let you sleep on the countertops, even though it is very you know adorable, but uh it's good to have like somewhere like soft and comfortable to sort of lay on and sleep. And George just kind of like pulls it out and it's just like, do you want like a proper bed or
They'll just kind of like shadowy slide backwards into it and just engulf the inside of it.
yeah. And George will kind of like shift the modified flower pot back to holding it. Uh, did you take his hat when you did this? Did you take his hat?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, George, seeing the lack of hat, just gives out another sigh because goddamn, that was his hat. Uh,
It is squished in between the void and the inner lining of the thing.
George feels like he's gonna have to fight to get that back later, and it's a fight he probably won't win. Uh, and yeah, he just kind of gives Void Cat more pets as Void Cat gently drifts to sleep. This is probably actually a pretty sunny spot, even if it is off to the side. It's actually probably why no one's around the spot, because it's really sunny. And you got a good bit of sunlight. You are satisfied with your chaos, and it is the perfect time for a nap if you'd like to take a nap.
Oh, they will absolutely take a nap. They'll let out one more big ol' yawn, and it's out, lights out for them.
And I think George kind of like lets out a sigh. It's just, what am I gonna do with you? And just continues to pet Void Cat. And there, just as a one last sort of end scene, there is a butterfly that floats down and just lands on the edge of the flower pot.
Aww.
And yeah, I think that's a good place to end it.
I love so much.
God, I'm very glad I got to drag you here. I knew you'd cause chaos. I didn't expect you to destroy a mushroom house. If it works, it works.
I mean, there were certain things that I expected. I didn't expect there to be a fairy circle, but I also don't regret the fact that Void Cat tried to eat one. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
well aware of the fact that these are all things that you should not do with a fairy circle, but I was also having to be aware of like the fact that I'm playing Void Cat, and Void Cat has no hubris.
Oh, hun. I love this cat. Right.
Poor
But
George just
yeah.
having to deal with all of it.
It's just been a series of strange events that has not stopped at all.
And the other tunes are probably not exactly helping with the strangeness.
No, not really. Because if White Cat starts a bit, like other people will join in, and it's just this endless cycle of just Void Cat causing chaos, and then finding like other cats, whether they're the Toon kind cat that's sentient or non-sent, like you know, like a person. It's honestly doesn't matter. They all just cause chaos anyway. And then this lizard man has to go like go make sure nothing bad happens.
Yes.
It's all just chaos. It's all just chaos. But yeah, this is this is a very good place to end it. You will probably see more of this butterfly garden in the future. Watch out for that. And
You.
yeah. Bye everybody.
Bye.